YouTube? I'm DJ Garo, and today we're putting these two systems head to head in my dining room coliseum. Enough talk, let's roll this beautiful beam footage. So I've been eyeballing the new QSC KC12 for a while now, and I finally pulled the trigger on a parent white. Now don't worry, this isn't a deep dive into the specs. If you're watching this, I'm guessing you already know what they are. This video is more of a real-world comparison of how they sound versus a 12-inch top and an 18-inch sub, and why I grabbed them. Reason number one, a smaller footprint. Lugging around my chonky 18-inch subs was getting old fast. Even with my god-tier Tetris skills, I could only squeeze one of them into my Tesla Model Y with my other DJ gear. The KC12s give me way more flexibility in tight spaces. Reason number two, completing my all-white setup. I've already got a white facade and 4 white totems for my moving headlights. The only thing missing to complete the look? White speakers. Well, and technically my moving headlights too, but do those really count? Reason number three, subwoofer level sound without the bulk. Surprisingly, the KC12s put out outrageous bass for a 12-inch woofer. In fact, they hit certain notes better than my Mackie DRM18S, and that alone blew me away. As of this recording, my KC12s have only been out for 1 gig, but so far, I'm extremely impressed. They're not perfect, but I'll get into that later in the video, but man, these things seriously deliver. I've had my Mackie SRM212s and DRM18S subs for quite some time now, and absolutely love them. They sound great, and the subs pump out bass you can feel in your chest. I've had them out to multiple large venues, and they do not disappoint. And hey, if Mackie or QSC are watching, I'd love to do some gear reviews. And now, time for the showdown. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Round 1.
So which ones did I like better? Honestly, it depends on the song. For example, Smooth Operator by Sade was hands down better on the Mackies, yet Africa by Toto sounded much better on the KC12s. The Mackies have a warmer sound profile. The mids come through stronger, and they definitely hit harder on the super low end frequencies. But on the other hand, the KC12s deliver cleaner highs and tighter bass. They just don't quite reach those deep bass notes like the DRM18S can. A couple of good examples would be the low end in Nipsey Hussle's Blue Laces 2 or Turn Down for What, but that's expected. These are 12-inch woofers after all. Now don't get me wrong, the KC12s hit hard and I'm seriously impressed. They just don't bring the same rumble you'd get from a dedicated 18-inch sub, which, to be fair, is one of the main reasons why I wanted them in the first place, not having to lug around those big 18s anymore. I was honestly worried I wouldn't be satisfied with the KC12's low end, but I've gotta say, I am. Even though they don't quite reach those ultra low frequencies like the Mackies, they absolutely slap everywhere else. Big sound, small footprint, and in white, exactly what I was after. Now a couple of small downsides, the KC12 seemed to scratch pretty easily. Mine got marked up just from riding with my cable bag on top of them in the car. Also, the covers are on back order, and I've heard some people have been waiting over a month for them. And one minor design gripe, there's a little gap where the speaker meets the pole, and it seems to widen a bit when played at higher volumes. It's not a deal breaker, but I do think the fit could have been engineered better. Anyway, that's a wrap. Let me know in the comments which one you thought sounded better, or if there's anything else you'd like to see. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.